Cause I'm in the stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire and set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice tea and I'll get my ping pong. This is dead heavy, can't hear the bass boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this beach shade like money. This go all alone, I'm into that, I'm good to go, I'm diamond, you know I glow up. Hey, so let's go. Cause I'm in the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, shining through the city with a little funky soul. So I'ma light it up like dynamite. Whoa.
Waco High School proudly presents the 2022 Lion Pride Marching Band. The 2022 Waco High Band is under the direction of Scott Stuhler, Tyler Sage, and Michelle Nelson. Percussion is instructed by Adrian Rodriguez and Austin Lemons. The color guard is instructed by Michelle Michaelowitz. Visual instructors are Kevin Linker, Spencer Childers, and Amber Meeks. Tonight, the Lion Pride Band will be performing their competition show entitled The Diamond's Edge, featuring the music of Dvorak, Meehan, Stuhler, and Verdi. Drum majors Daniel Alarcon and Jordan Diaz, you may take the field in performance.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Waco ISD Stadium here on Friday night as we have the Red Oak Hawks taking on the Waco High Lions. The captains are at midfield. Waco High will defer after they won the toss. And we'll see which way Red Oak wants to start the game. Waco High comes into tonight's game with a record of 1-5, 0-4 in district. And talking to Coach Lyndon Helt, he's indicated that Reggie Lewis would be the starting quarterback tonight, the fourth one used this season. Scoring's been an issue the last 4 games as multiple quarterbacks have been used due to injuries. Offensively, they just need to cut down on their turnovers. The offensive line needs to be more physical tonight, and Coach Helt is wanting his offense to produce some explosive plays as they drive down the field tonight. He's indicated that his defense is playing well. They've been improving each week, and they are in for a big test tonight against this Red Oak Hawks team, which is an offensive juggernaut, scoring over 40 points a game, giving up, though, 35 points a game, so they can be scored on. They're a big physical team that has speed and talent with multiple players who have been receiving Division I offers. Here come the Waco Lions onto the field. For Red Oak offensively, they run the ball about 62% of the time, averaging just over 5 yards a carry. And their 2 running backs who carry the load are Moses Martindale and Chris Martinez, along with their quarterback, Jalen Robinson. Those 3 are the big threats on the running game. Through the air, though, they're just as potent as they average over 17 yards a catch, and they have a multitude of receivers that they target. The quarterback, Jalen Robinson, is completing 61% of his passes. For Waco High, some of their key players tonight will be their fullback, LZ Amos, 27 carries on the year for 194 yards. And Reggie Lewis will have a slew of targets for the passing game with receivers Chris Dowdy, Tyler Black, and Robert Wireman to be some of his main threats. To date, Red Oak, with a 4-1 record, their only loss was to Lake Belton by 1 point in overtime. They're 1 point away from being 5-0 on the year. Like I mentioned earlier, they are a big and tall and fast team, and they will present Waco High with a big test tonight.
We'll have a presentation of America's colors.
The colors are being presented by the Waco High Junior ROTC Color Guard.
Command Sergeant Major Willie Jones.
We'll go over
First
to PA
Sergeant
announcer
James
George
Hart.
Snodgrass.
Battalion holds the highest rating a junior ROTC can have as an honor unit with distinction. The unit mission is to motivate young people to become better citizens. The colors are being presented by the Waco High Junior ROTC Color Guard, consisting of Right Guard, Cadet Private Eric Palacios, American Flag, Cadet Captain Ariana Melendez, Texas Flag, Cadet Captain Lydia Giron, United States Army Flag, Cadet Sergeant First Class Yesenia Antonio, Waco High Junior ROTC Battalion Flag, Cadet Captain Ashley Stevens, Left Guard, Cadet Sergeant First Class Saul Lars. And at this time, the national anthem will be sung by the Waco High Choir.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The homecoming Sabre team is Cadet Palacios, Cadet Stevens, Cadet Ebanks, Cadet Palacios, Cadet Lars, Cadet Grion, Cadet Antonio.
And we're back getting ready to start the
Cadet Captain
kickoff here of this game. I'm Hal Harris, along with my partner Tyler Harris, and we welcome you to tonight's ball game. The officials tonight for this contest are out of the Waco football chapter. The referee will be Charles Derrick. The umpire will be Dylan Marshall. The head line judge is Brian Nelson. Line judge Charles Terrell. Field judge Joel Wymar. Side judge will be Christopher Nelms, and the back judge will be John Bassick. 84 degrees right now here in Waco, Texas. I'm sure it should dip down closer to 70 by the end of the ball game. Waco High dressed out in their all black uniforms with red helmets. Red Oak will be in white tonight.
Sounds like a perfect night for some football, Hal.
It is, and going deep to receive this kickoff for Red Oak will be Braden Robinson, number 18. He's on the 20-yard line. Tyler Black will be kicking off for Waco on the 40-yard line, and we're getting ready to start this ball game. And here we go. Kick down deep into the corner. Taz Williams with the ball. Still squirming around. There's holding all over the place. 31 got held, so this ball's going to come back. That flag's at the 44, so they'll set him up around the 30-yard line.
Looks like that was Tyrance Johnson that got held somewhere around midfield. So this probably come back about to the 25-yard line, it looks like.
Where Red Oak will set up. First and 10. We start this ball game. 11 minutes and 45 seconds.
Holding, number 30 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the flag.
And holding penalty was on Mekhi Williams for Red Oak. So they'll start, it looks like, the 34-yard line.
Jalen Marshall, number 10, is their quarterback, and then the running backs are number 8, Moses Martindale, and number 13, Chris Martinez. Hand off to Martinez up the middle. And he carries a load of Waco High.
Martinez on that carry up the middle, picking up 8 yards on that play.
Javon Bryant on the tackle there, gain of 8. Second down and 2. Quarterback's going back and misses a wide open Chris Martinez right down the seam. Had they connected, that would have been a touchdown. Third down and 2. Red Oak, when they do pass the ball, they are very effective as far as yards gained per pass completion. They have a lot of speed out on the field. Their wide receivers are Warren Roberson, Jarius Nicholson, Taz Williams, and Braden Robinson. Hand off to Martindale. He plows away.
Martindale on the carry, picking up a first down. Ball's going to be spotted at
Looks like he got about 5 yards there.
First and 10.
First down.
Defense that time was number
All
6.
on the 47-yard line. 11 minutes to go here early in the first quarter. Running back Chris Martinez is going off the field momentarily. Single back Martindale along with Robinson, the quarterback. Back to pass. Right down the middle. Complete to Warren Roberson down to the 30-yard line.
Nice open field tackle there by Tyrone Stumper.
It is a first down for the Hawks. Ball spotted at the
Gain of about 22 yards.
First and 10.
That's right.
First and 10 from the 30. Hand off to Martindale. Brian in on the tackle.
That is Martindale on the carry, picking up about 3 yards.
Along with 45, Darren Bible.
Here on the fence that time was number 10, Irvin.
Second down at 7.
Second down and 7.
They come to the line of scrimmage. They operate at a very quick pace. Robinson back. He's looking over the middle. And he's got him for the touchdown.
Looks like that's Braden Robinson for Red Oak with the touchdown grab. That was a 26-yard strike over the middle. Not terrible coverage, but just a better throw and a better catch.
18, that's Robinson for the touchdown for the Hawks.
Josh Jimenez, number 40, in to attempt the extra point. Holder is Kendall Brown. Kicks up. And it is good.
Looks like that drive took just over 2 minutes and 10 seconds, so pretty quick drive for Red Oak on their first showing.
66 yards on that drive. No penalties. They are a very explosive offense. And Waco High will get a chance to see if they can counter that touchdown. Going back for Waco will be Amias Irwin, number 10, along with Chris Dowdy, number 15, on the near side around the 5-yard line. Kicking off for Red Oak will be Josh Jimenez. Rashad Lee, number 12, is up at the 25-yard line.
Jimenez kicking into the wind here. Waco will have the wind at their back for their first drive, so we'll see what they can do with it.
And here we go. Down to Amias Irwin at the 20, 25.
Number 10, it is Irvin on the return.
Tackled by 21 Jordan Fleming. That'll set up a first down and 10 for Waco High with 9:42 to go here in the first quarter. Good field position at the 27-yard line. Reggie Lewis will be the quarterback tonight, number 1. In the backfield running will be LZ Amos. The receivers will be Robert Wireman, number 84, Chris Dowdy, number 15, Tyler Black, number 4. That was a straight snap to LZ Amos. And he goes for -3 on that particular run. Some tough sledding there. Luke Grant is the center for Waco. DeAndre Smith and Kelvin Young are the guards. Dante Ward and Rashawn Khanna are the tackles for Waco High tonight. Defensively for Red Oak, Kendrick Thomas, Caden Bates, Tanner Thompson, and Seven Butler are in the defensive line. The linebackers are Jordan Fleming, Cameron DeBonis, and Zach Smith. Second down and 13. Flags fly.
Doesn't look like they were set on the offensive line before that ball was snapped.
Full start, number 79 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
5-yard penalty. That'll set up a second down and 17. Penalties are what Waco High for sure does not need to have, especially on the offense. They will let the play clock go underneath 10 seconds probably for each play. So here we go. Reggie Lewis with LC Amos there in the backfield. Handoff to Amos. Tough sledding, but he gets out about 3 to 4 yards there. Bring up a third down and 14 for Waco High. 8 minutes and 20 seconds, and the clock is counting.
Smart move by Coach Helt to try to shorten the game a little bit here by, as you said, let's get this play clock down below 10 before we snap it.
Hand off to LZ Amos. Tough sledding there. He gains about 1 yard before he's knocked down, and that'll bring up a fourth down from the 25-yard line.
It brings up fourth down.
Warren Robertson, number 1 for Red Oak, is back at his 46-yard line. Tyler Black will be kicking this punt from the 25-yard line, and the snap goes over his head. Touchdown. Tyler was unable to grab it, and it looks like number 35 for Red Oak was in on the recovery, TJ Stalker.
The Waco High punter might have been best served to go ahead and kick that ball out of the end zone and take a safety there, but easier said than done. Heat of the moment. Can't blame the kid.
Bad snap, way over his head, and that was costly, costing Waco High a touchdown. Kick up by Jimenez, and it's good.
Extra point's good.
And with 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the first quarter, it is Red Oak 14, Waco High 0. So Waco High will get the ball right back again. Get a chance to operate their offense. Like I said, Waco High is using their 4th quarterback of the year due to injuries. And continuity takes a little while for each quarterback and their team to get meshed together. Going back deep will be Amias Irwin, number 10, along with 15, Chris Dowdy. Chris here on the 15-yard line. Rashad Lee is on the 25-yard line, and then number 20, O'Shawn Neal will be on the far side on the 25-yard line. Kicking off for Red Oak will be Josh Jimenez. There we go. It's going to go to Owen at the 10. Finds a little crease there. Keeps battling, and he'll get it up to the 35-yard line. A nice kickoff return by Amias Irwin.
It's a 25-yard return by Irvin. Made a couple nice moves there.
Okay, Waco High will start their second possession with 7 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock. Down 14-0 here in the first quarter. Reggie Lewis, quarterback, number 1. LZ Amos, number 6, be the running back. Robert Wireman, Chris Dowdy, Tyler Black are the wide receivers. And we got movement early by Waco. Looks like number 57.
It's DeAndre Smith for Waco.
False start. Number 57 of the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Those 5-yard penalties, self-inflicted, are difficult to sometimes overcome. Brings up a first down and 15. Reggie Lewis on the keeper. He's got 5. He's got 10, 15, 20. 22-yard gain and a first down by Reggie Lewis. Reggie Lewis, very athletic, very quick, and you give him a little crease, he can make you pay for it. This defense of Red Oak, they've given up 34 points a game, so they can be scored on. First down of the evening for Waco High. 6 minutes and 49 seconds to go. Number 25 will be King Townsend, one of the receivers for Waco High on the right side. Reggie passes. King Townsend catches it down to the 43-yard line, a gain of 4. Nice pass. Brings up a 2nd and 6. 6 minutes and 25 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And Waco High with a nice drive going right now. Nice methodical drive. Had a couple of explosive plays. Reggie Lewis around the left side. He's got a first down, finally knocked out at the 33-yard line. It's another first down, the second first down of the drive here. And Waco High has got something going. 1st and 10 on the 35. Nice run by Reggie Lewis there. Three receivers to the right, one to the left. Amos is the running back. Reggie's going to toss it out to Amos. He's got clear sailing, and he's in for the touchdown. 35 yards. LZ Amos on the pitch option. And Waco High is right back in this ball game.
Nice drive there by Waco High to answer after the punt blunder. A couple of big gouges on that drive. A 22-yard run to start it off and a 35-yarder to cap it.
Tyler Black to attempt the extra point. Reggie Lewis holding. Kick is up, and it is good. So with 5 minutes and 51 seconds to go here in the first quarter, it is Red Oak 14 and Waco High 7. Now that drive right there was 65 yards, overcoming 1 5-yard penalty to start it, but I was wondering if that option play would come into play, so that's going to be one of their weapons. Reggie's a really good runner. As most of you know, he does play receiver normally, but he has been put into the quarterback position, and LZ Amos is the main running back. We will see Mason Smith welcome here in the second half, helping LZ Amos. So going deep for Red Oak will be number 4, Taz Williams, in the center of the field. 18, Braden Robinson will be here on the near side. And number 1, Warren Roberson, will be on the far side, all at about the 15-yard line. Tyler Black will kick it off from the 40. And we have had a lot of fireworks here in the first 7 minutes of this ball game. Onside kick. It's recovered, though, by Red Oak, number 35. The TJ Stalker set up Red Oak on the 49-yard line. Their second possession of the game.
I don't hate an onside kick there. Maybe catch the other team by surprise and pick up the ball and try and punch it in again. I don't hate it. It didn't work, but I liked it.
Ivan Diaz, number 90, will be the nose guard. Javon Bryant and Darren Bible will be the defensive ends. O'Shawn Neal, LZ Amos, Darren Paul, and Tim Standifer will be your linebackers. And in the secondary, Angel Campos, Amias Irwin, Isaiah Livingstone, and Tyrone Sumter. Pitch to Braden Robinson around the corner. Got flags flying, and you got to figure that is probably going to be holding on number 8, Moses Martindale, but we'll wait for the official to give us the answer to those flags.
That's the tricky thing about those outside runs. Those linemen and the receivers really want to hold those blocks a long time, but sometimes when you do that, you get picked up for holding.
Holding number on number 8, Moses Martindale. Put the ball at the 41-yard line. Number 10, Jalen Robinson is the quarterback. Moses Martindale is the tailback. Hand off to Martindale, but he is nailed immediately. 44, Darren Paul on the tackle. Gain of 2, second down and 18. Devontae Peoples, number 17, coming in at one of the wide receiver positions. Robinson back, he's going for the bomb. He's got someone out there, number 3, and he drops it. Darius Nicholson. It was in his hands and he dropped it. Defending on the play was number 21, Angel Campos for Waco High. Bring up a 3rd down and 18.
Pretty big 3rd down here for Waco High. If they can get a stop here, get the ball back, they can have a chance to tie this game up.
Robinson back, he's looking. Down the middle and hits number 18, Braden Robinson. For about a 14-yard gain. And they are going to think about it. Let's see if they're going to go for it.
This will be a 4th and 5.
It is 4th and 5. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the far right side. The running back is Chris Martinez, number 13. Robinson bobbles the ball, escapes 2 defenders, and he may go the distance. He fumbles the football.
Waco High saying they have it. Let's see who came away with it.
44. Darren Paul with the fumble recovery after about a 42-yard run. So turnover on the second possession by Red Oak sets Waco High up at the 2-yard line. But more importantly, they didn't score.
Lions take over at their own 2-yard line, 1st and 10.
Play clock down to 13. 4:16 to go here in the first quarter. 14-7. Red Oak leads. Now they're saying there was a fumble on the other side. And number 5 recovered it. 7 Butler with the fumble recovery. It looked like the running backs collided into the quarterback, and that ball just squirted loose. That sets up Red Oak with a golden opportunity on the 1-yard line.
That's a killer if you're Waco High. You forced a turnover and you're looking to maybe tie the game up with a long drive and you can't quite get it done. You cough it right back up.
Robinson's just going to quarterback sneak it. Waiting for the signals. And he's in for the touchdown. 1-yard touchdown by Jalen Robinson. And Red Oak increases their lead to 20-7 with the extra point. Number 40, Jose Jimenez to kick. Kendall Brown, number 14, is the holder. Snap is back and the kick is up. And it is good. So the score with 3 minutes and 58 seconds to go here in the first quarter is Red Oak 21 and Waco High 7.
If you're Waco High here, you just want to go take the ball, score obviously, but you know it's important to answer here. You don't want the momentum of this game to get out of control early.
Waco High on their second possession showed they had the ability to drive this football with several explosive plays, just what Coach Helt was looking for from his offense. This game is far from over. Miles Irwin, number 10, will be on the near side Are they going to switch? No, he's on the near side. And number 15, Chris Dowdy, will be on the far side to receive this kick from Josh Jimenez. Can come down to Amias Irwin at the 10-yard line. He's at the 20. He's got a hole. He may take it the distance. He's at the 50, 40, 30, 25-yard, 24-yard line.
That was a 65-yard return by Irwin.
That was exactly what Waco High needed to get the momentum shifted right back in their favor here. That is the best kickoff return we've seen this year by Waco High. Sets up a 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line of Red Oak. 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Down 21-7, but with a golden chance here to put some points on the board and close that gap. Reggie Lewis will be your quarterback, and hands off to LZ Amos. Gain of 3 there.
Maybe close to 2 yards on that play.
Tackled by number 9, Cameron Devonis.
Actually close to 3 yards on that play.
2nd and 7. Late in the first quarter, Waco High down 21-7, but threatening after an outstanding kickoff return by Amias Irwin. Three receivers to the right, and we have 1 receiver out left. Reggie just going to take it by himself. He gets down to the 19-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. Set up a 3rd and 1.
Brings up a 3rd down and 1.
Third and 1. This is probably 2 down territory. Ball on the 14-yard line, 3rd down and 1. We got motion there. I think 77 took off a little early, Kelvin Young, but we'll wait and see.
Ball start. Number 77 on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 3rd down.
It's the 3rd false start of the night in the first quarter for Waco High.
3 penalties so far tonight for Waco High for 15 yards of negative yardage.
This is definitely 4 down territory, don't you think?
They do have a field goal kicker. If they can't gain any on this 3rd down, Tyler Black can get it there, but you do need a lot of points tonight. This team can score. So it is probably going to be 2 down territory, like you said. Reggie Lewis going to throw it. Oh, and nearly picked off by number 7. Austin Morgan. That ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a 4th down and 6. And he is not bringing the field. Tyler Black's not going to kick the field goal, so they're going to go for it.
That's a smart move. Given the ebb and flow of this game, you're going to need points tonight. Just go for it. Get those points on the board.
Yeah, Red Oak is a high-powered offense, scoring nearly 40 points a game. So it's 4th down and 6. 2 receivers to the right and to the left. Reggie's back. He's under pressure. And he never had a chance there as they knocked him back all the way to the 33-yard line.
It's a 15-yard loss. They brought the house. And, like you said, he never had a chance to even get the ball off.
And the Hawks will take over.
So that'll set up Red Oak at the 33-yard line. 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and they lead 21-7. Jalen Robinson is the quarterback. Moses Martindale, number 8, is the running back. Passing the flat to number 4. Taj Williams. He gets about 2, maybe 3 yards. He's brought down by Ivan Diaz. 90, and then number 18, Ken Standifer. Gain of 3, bring up 2nd down and 7. 2 receivers to the left, 1 on the very far right-hand side of the field. Robinson and Martindale in the backfield. Try pass deep downfield. Covered perfectly. It was intended for 18, Braden Robinson, but that was well defended. Miles Irwin along with LZ Amos in coverage. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 for Red Oak. 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first quarter. They lead 21-7 over Waco High. Braden Robinson in motion. That pass was intended for Jarius Nicholson, number 3, but it was way high. And that will bring up a 4th down. And they will punt. First punt of the evening for Red Oak. As Waco High gets them 3 and out. Outstanding defensive effort on that series. Ball will be kicked from the 36-yard line. Reggie Lewis is back to receive this punt. He's sitting on his 25-yard line. Number 13, Chris Martinez, will be kicking it. High. That takes a bounce, big bounce for Red Oak, about 15 yards worth. And it will come down on the 18-yard line.
That's a 46-yard kick there after that bounce. A nice field flipping kick.
One minute and 44 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and Waco High takes possession on their 19-yard line. Reggie Lewis will be the quarterback. LZ Amos will be in the backfield as a running back. Chris Dowdy, Tyler Black, Robert Wireman, and Noah Stennett is in at tight end right now. 1st and 10. Reggie Lewis bounces out, but he's going to be wrapped up by number 6. Zach Smith in on the tackle. Also 5 on the play. Bring up a 2nd down and 15.
False start. Number 52 of the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Another motion penalty on Waco.
And the bad news is that's the 4th false start of the quarter for Waco High. The good news is it's been on a different offensive lineman every time, so at least it's not a repeat offender.
Second down and 20. Ball sitting on the 9-yard line of Waco High. Handoff to LZ Amos. And there is a flag that just got thrown. We'll have to wait and see what this is all about. It looked from here like his helmet got yanked, but we'll have to wait for the officials.
That ball, unsportsmanlike, number 6 on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That penalty is on Zach Smith for Red Oak.
And that gets Waco High out of a big problem there as they were looking at 2nd and 20. Now it's 1st and 10 on their own 22-yard line. So big break there for Waco High as they get a new set of downs here with 27 seconds to go here in the first quarter. King Townsend, number 25, is down here on the far right-hand side, closest to us. Reggie's going to try to throw. That ball was intended for 84 Robert Wireman, and he did have the defender beat, but the throw was just a little short. I like the call, though, because this defense is giving up points this year, so they can be scored on.
That's a really hard throw for Reggie, moving to his left, throw across his body, and to also ask him to throw it about 40 yards downfield. There's not a lot of athletes at this level that can make that throw.
2nd down and 10 for Waco High. 8 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Now that's a new running back in there now.
Yeah, Amos came off a few plays earlier. I don't know if it was just for rest or if he got hurt on that tackle. He got tackled a little bit strangely, almost a horse collar tackle, and I'm wondering if he's maybe taking a breather after that.
That carry was by Ronate Hawthorne, sophomore running back, 5'7", 155 yards. And that will end the first quarter with the score Red Oak 21 and Waco High 7. A lot of scoring here in the first quarter.
A lot of scoring here in the first quarter. For Waco High, Reggie went 1 for 3 with 5 passing yards. He had 5 rushing attempts for 18 yards. LZ Amos 6 attempts for 38 yards. And the total yards for the quarter for Waco was 61 yards. Red Oak had 125 yards, led by Jalen Robinson, quarterback. 3 for 5 from the air, 65 passing yards. 2 rushing attempts for 44 yards. And a couple runs from Mosen Martindale. 3 attempts, for 8 yards. Chris Martinez did 8 yards. And 3 receivers each had a reception in the quarter for a total of 54 receiving yards.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 here as we start the second quarter. Flags fly before the play ever gets off.
Illegal participation. 12 men on the field on the offense. The 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3rd down.
Too many men on the field, 5-yard penalty. That'll set up a 3rd down and 11 situation for Waco High. That's 5 penalties so far on Waco High, and they absolutely have to stop that. Two receivers to the right and one here to the left. Stinnett will be the tight end. Reggie, option to LZ Amos. Gain of about 1, and that'll set up a 4th down, and Waco High will have to punt the ball away. Going back for Red Oak will be Warren Roberson. He's at his 50-yard line. Tyrone Sumter is punting the ball for Waco, number 8. And it is going to be returned in for a touchdown. So I don't know where Tyler Black is, but it either got blocked or he just missed it on the punt. I'm not sure.
The snap was flubbed. It bounced back to the punter, and then Tanner Thompson for Red Oak got a piece of it, and then it was taken in by the defender for the touchdown.
So another defensive touchdown. That's 2 tonight. And Waco is trailing 27-7. Man, that happened quick there. Josh Jimenez with the extra point attempt for Red Oak, and it is up and it is good. So with 11:15 to go here in the in the second quarter, it's Red Oak 28 and Waco 7, but Waco has gifted them 2 easy touchdowns through the special teams play on the punting. So they just got to get back and try to get them a long, sustained drive going tonight. Try to cut into this gap because I know they can move against this defense. Going deep for Waco, back for this kickoff will be 15 Chris Dowdy on the far side. Miles Irwin, number 10 here on the near side. Number 12, Rashad Lee, is on about his 25-yard line, and number 20, O'Shawn Neal on the near side here. You see this kickoff from Josh Jimenez. Squiver picked up by Rashad Lee, and Waco High is going to have some excellent field position here at the 36-yard line. 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Number 32, Josh Bedford, will be coming in on this particular series. Coach has got to release these guys out on the field. There's 15 seconds to go on the play clock.
If you're here and from the class of 1987, please stand and give us a wave. 1987. Congratulations there. Here we see.
Josh Bedford and LZ Amos are the running backs. Reggie's got Amos wide open. And he says he bobbled it. Had that throw been just inside the line just a little bit, that would have been a touchdown. Well designed play.
The Waco High receivers are really popping the top on this Red Oak defense. They're getting things open over the top. It's a matter of getting the ball to them. I think the offensive coordinator is probably seeing that. They're going to go back to that a few more times, you would think.
Brings up a second down and 10.
That's where having that fourth string quarterback really is a disadvantage, obviously, because you don't have a guy who's as skilled as getting the ball downfield, although Reggie can do it.
Waco High having to burn a timeout there as they were had some indecision on what kind of play call they were looking at.
I wouldn't mind seeing a few more of those deep balls to really soften up the defense a little bit. And then you might be able to run the ball a little more, throw the ball to open up the run.
The passing game is open tonight, for sure. So we'll see if they can continue that last play call. We haven't seen that very often this year as far as throwing it to the running back coming out of the backfield.
Well, the defenders really are keying on Reggie as he rolls out. They're thinking he's going to run. So, again, over-the-top play has seemed to be one of the more successful and open available options for the Waco High offense tonight.
We have Bedford and LZ Amos, the running backs, back with Reggie Lewis. And that play went nowhere. And the keeper. -3 to bring up a 3rd down and 13. Ball on the 33-yard line, 10 minutes and 45 seconds here in the second quarter.
Waco High still choosing to milk the clock, shorten the game here in the second quarter.
Two receivers to the left, two backs in the backfield with Reggie. Okay, they're going to try to throw it. Intended for 25, King Townsend, but it went a little too high. That'll bring up 4th down. Ball sitting on the 33-yard line.
I like the play call there. Roll Reggie out and give him some space to make a throw. I believe that ball might have got tipped at the line as well.
Warren Roberson back. Tyrone Sumter with the kick. And it's going to die at the 42-yard line.
It's a net 9-yard kick.
I do not know what has happened to Tyler Black. I did not see him go off, but he hasn't been back for the last 2 punts.
I don't even recall seeing him out there on the field the last few plays.
He may have hurt himself on the snap that went over his head in the end zone. He may have hurt himself there. 1st and 10 for Red Oak on the 44-yard line of Waco. 10:03 to go here in the second quarter. Handoff. Martinez, number 13. Plows forward for about a 6-yard gain or 5-yard gain. Second down and 5. Number 4, Taz Williams, the receiver here on the right side. Warren Roberson, number 1 on the far side, along with number 3, Jarius Nicholson. Jalen Robinson is the quarterback. Martinez is the backer with him. Robinson's going back to pass. Under pressure. Escapes. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 22-yard line. O'Shawn Neal with the tackle.
That was a lot of work for a 6-yard gain. After he was pressured in the backfield.
First down on the 22-yard line. Pass out in the flat. Braden Robinson. Knocked out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Brings up a second down and 2. And they're going quick. Handoff to Martinez. He's knocked down by LZ Amos, number 6. But not till after he gets a first down to the 6-yard line, 1st and goal. 8 minutes and 48 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Red Oak knocking on the door. Robinson looking to pass. Way too low for the intended target, Paz Williams. Brings up a second down and goal from the 6-yard line. 8:28 to go here in the second quarter. Red Oak leading 28-7. Martinez up the middle, but he's knocked down immediately. Javon Bryant, number 88, in on the tackle. Waco High's defense giving it all they got tonight. A tough bunch of defenders. 3rd down and 5. Hurry up offense. Got motion. That's going to be 5 yards against Red Oak. A couple of their linemen shot off on the left side way too early.
Illegal snap. Number 54 of the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous.
That's their 3rd penalty of the evening. So it's up 3rd down and goal to go from the 11-yard line. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right here. Robinson. It'll be a free play there. And that pass goes incomplete to Warren Roberson. But there are flags on the field. Offsides.
5-yard penalty from the previous punt.
Against Waco High. So we trade penalties there back to back. Should be the 6th penalty of the game for Waco for 30 yards. So 3rd down and 6. Goal to go, 3rd down and 6. Robinson keeps it and runs right up the middle for the touchdown. 6-yard touchdown by Robinson. Quarterback Robinson. And that makes the score 34-7 with the extra points to come. Josh Jimenez, left-footed kicker to attempt the extra point. Snaps back, kick is up, and it is good.
Jimenez got a good leg on him.
Yeah, we saw him practice. He could kick it about 45 yards when he was attempting his field goals. 35-7, Red Oak leads. 7 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter. And that drive was a 44-yard drive. All right, headed back to receive this kickoff for Waco High will be Chris Dowdy, number 15, and Amias Irwin, number 10, here on the near side at the 5-yard line. Josh Jimenez will kick off for Red Oak. Waco High is going to have another long, sustained drive here if they can, once they get the ball back, and see if they can chew a lot of clock up and register with some points here. Waiting for the kicker here. It's a squibber. Chris Dowdy with the ball. And he's going to get down. They're going to mark him at the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Waco High. The last 2 times they've kicked off, they have squibbed it after Amias Irwin took one about 65 yards on them. They probably don't have any interest in kicking it deep anymore tonight. All right, we got Tyrone Sumter is going to come in on offense here. Reggie Lewis is the quarterback. LZ Amos is the running back. Tyrone Sumter will be a receiver on the far right-hand side. He's number 8. Reggie with the pass there to 15. That was nearly a lateral pass there. Incomplete to Chris Dowdy. Number 8, Tyrone Sumter in at one of the wide receiver spots, as Tyler Black has not come back on the field for the last quarter. 84 wide receiver Robert Wireman. Number 25 at the wide receiver position is King Townsend. His first action this year on the varsity team. Dowdy in motion. Fumble. And number 6 is going to take it in for the touchdown. Zach Smith.
Zach Smith making up for his previous unsportsmanlike conduct with a scoop and score for 6 points.
Some miscommunication there between Reggie and the running back, and no one touched that ball. It just dropped on the ground, and Red Oak takes it in for another easy touchdown. Jose Jimenez with the extra point attempt again. And it is good. 7 minutes and 27 seconds to go here in the second quarter, and it is Red Oak 42, Waco High 7. But Waco High has set them up with 3 gimme touchdowns tonight due to lack of execution. Well, this game could be much tighter. 27-yard fumble return there for the touchdown.
That's correct, 27 yards on the touchdown. That's the second or third fumble on a QB wrap or QB read, whatever you like to call it. Just some miscommunication there. The ball literally just dropped to the ground.
Chris Dowdy, number 15, along with Miles Irwin, number 10 here on the near side, to receive this kick. O'Shawn Neal, number 20. And number 12, Rashad Lee, are up at about the 25-yard line. Josh Jimenez again to kick off. Another squibber. Chris Dowdy with the ball, 25. And he's going to go down. See where they will mark it at the 23-yard line, 1st and 10 for Waco. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Waco High down 42-7. Waco High looking just to get some consistency going here on offense. Try to just steady the ship here and try to get a nice long drive. See if they can get a score. Get some confidence back. LZ Amos, number 6, will be in the backfield with quarterback Reggie Lewis, number 1. LZ off right tackle for a gain of 2. Tyrone Sumter, number 8, coming in to the game. Waiting for the play call from the offensive coordinator. And we're ready to go now. Ball on the 24-yard line. Just not a lot of holes there for LZ Amos to run through. Just a big wall there.
Yeah, they've got about 8 or 9 guys in the box. They're daring them to throw it, and with good reason.
Ball on the 23-yard line, 3rd and 9. Ten seconds on the play clock. And here they come up to the line of scrimmage. Reggie around right in. Still going. Gets up to about the 34-yard line. 28-yard line. That'll bring up a 4th down. Number 8, Tyrone Sumter to punt. Number 1, Warren Robertson back to receive this kick. Okay. Low liner. That's fumble there. I wonder if he was able to pick it up. We got a scuffle going over here between flags are flying. Flags are flying. And we will just have to wait for the officials to unravel all of this. But right now the ball sits at the 48-yard line.
Looks like Angel Campos and Commander Yancey had some words to exchange to each other. I'm sure they were pleasant.
So at the 48-yard line, that was a 24-yard punt. 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Red Oak leading 42-7. Multiple flags flying on that punt, so we'll just have to wait to see what referee Charles Derrick is going to tell us is going to be assessed here.
After the play, unsportsmanlike, number 21 of the white, unsportsmanlike, number 2 of the black. Those penalties will offset.
That was Campos and Yancey that were both assessed those penalties there. Those penalties will offset.
I think he may have got the colors incorrect when he was saying that.
But it was 21.
Yeah, it was 21. Angel Campos is 21, but he's in black, and the white jersey is 21. Is a all right. So we started off here at the 48-yard line of Red Oak. Five minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Robinson with the pass out here in the flat to number 4, Taz Williams. Gain of 6 on that pass play. Bring up second down and 4. Noah Johnson is in at running back for Red Oak now, number 24. Robinson on the run. He's finally knocked down by 44 for Waco High, Darren Paul. But not before he gets a first down. Jalen Robinson is the quarterback, and his running mate there is number 24, Noah Johnson. First and 10 from the 40-yard line. Going deep. No flags intended for number 4, Taz Williams. Great defensive coverage there by Waco High. Amias Irwin and number 8, Tyrone Sumter. Brings up a second down and 10.
Good play all around there. You know, Taz had him beat, but Waco also had 2 defenders on him and a really good throw. Taz probably should have come down with that ball. He was upset about it. He knew he should have had it.
Handoff to Noah Johnson, number 24. He barrels in for about 4 yards before LZ Amos knocks him down to the turf along with number 20. O'Shawn Neal. Robinson back, going down the sideline to number 18, and he got it. Braden Robinson with a nice catch there, and a nice pass. Robinson, the quarterback, has a rifle for an arm.
He has a 27-yard strike and an incredible catch. He elevated for that catch and got 1 foot down. Beautiful.
Sets him up first and goal from the 8-yard line. 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Handoff to Noah Johnson. He's not going to go anywhere. Ivan Diaz, Jose Amos, Tyrone Sumter all knocking him to the turf. No gain brings up 2nd down and 8. Keeper by the quarterback, Robinson. Same play he scored on a minute ago. 8-yard touchdown run. And Red Oak increases their lead to 48-7 with the extra point to come. Josh Jimenez will attempt the extra point. Snap is back, kick is up. And it is good. He's a perfect 7 for 7 tonight. As the quarterback Robinson took it in from 8 yards out to increase the lead for Red Oak to 49-7. There's 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
That was a 7-play, 52-yard drive. Pretty methodical by Red Oak. That also puts them over 200 yards for the night on offense. Our offense hasn't been on the field that much. There's been a lot of special team snafus for easy touchdowns and a bunch of bobbled snaps and fumbles and things of that nature to give them short fields or no fields.
They've earned, 4 touchdowns and 3 were gimmies by the Waco High team. Back deep again, number 10, Amias Irwin, and number 15, Chris Dowdy. They're both at the 10-yard line. Highly unlikely they're going to kick to them anymore after Amias took that one kick return back 65 yards earlier in the first quarter. Josh Jimenez back to kick it off. All right, it's going to come to Chris Dowdy. He's at the 8-yard line. Ooh, he really gets blasted there at the 20-yard line.
Kind of got double teamed a little bit. One guy went low, another guy went high.
He certainly did. First and 10 for Waco. 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the second quarter. Trailing 49-7. Reggie Lewis still in at quarterback. Tyrone Sumter is one of the wide receivers. LZ Amos and Joseph Bedford are the running backs. Hand off to Bedford around left corner. He plows forward for about 4 yards, maybe 5. 5-yard gain. Nice run there by Joseph Bedford. Second down and 5, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Hand off to LZ Amos.
That's number 6 on that carry. That's Amos around the left side.
Let's see where they're going to mark that one. The 28-yard line. Brings up a 3rd down and 2. 2 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Waco High absolutely needs to get a first down here to keep that clock running. Try to regroup at halftime. Sumter and Dowdy, the wide receivers to the right. Robert Wireman, number 84, to the left. He got close. That was LZ Amos right up the middle. They're going to give him the first down.
Giving it to him. Yep.
He'll be running the 30-yard line. It'll be a first down. Big control number 80, Frazier. Number 9.
Not the third first down of the first half for them.
That's correct.
Minute 43 and counting. Bedford and Amos along with Reggie Lewis in the backfield. Reggie's going to keep it. He squirts through. He's at the 45, down to the 46-yard line. That's a first down. That's about a 24-yard keeper. Reggie just came right out of that big old wall there of defenders, popped right through the gap.
Actually ran into his own receiver, number 84.
Now I might, Robert Wireman.
That's correct.
I might have a little sense of urgency now if I was Waco. We're down to 1 minute, and you're inside the opponent's 50-yard line. Okay, Reggie's going to let it cut loose. Intended for 84, Robert Wireman.
I like the play call there, though. Take a quick shot off a big play. Try
Absolutely.
to punch it in.
You bet. No need to hold anything back in your offensive arsenal right now.
It's a good chance, too, for Coach to see kind of what he has with his young quarterback here. Also, when you give him a chance like that to throw, see what he can do.
Sumner, Wireman, and Dowdy are the receivers. Amos and Bedford are the running backs. Reggie just going to keep it around the left side. I don't believe there's any gain on that play. 51 seconds to go here in the second quarter. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
He'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
That cracks Waco over the century mark for offense in the first half. Reggie and Amos doing most of the work for the Waco Lions.
.51 seconds left in the second quarter. And Waco is going to call a timeout here.
So what kind of play would you like to see here out of this timeout? They got a little chance to think about it. What do you, if you're the offensive coordinator here, what are you thinking?
Well, you're thinking pass. Maybe a 5 or 6 yard little slant pass right on the seam. Those usually are open. They're pretty safe passes. Or do the option where they had a big gainer in the first quarter where Reggie optioned it over to LZ Amos and he took it around the left side for a big gainer.
I agree. You can get something over the middle there. They're giving him one-on-one on defense, so you will get if you run him on a slant over the middle, he should be open. The problem is, Reggie's not the tallest guy out there, so he probably struggles a little bit to see over that line. See what they end up doing here.
Third down and 11. Okay, Reggie setting up the pass. Going down for Sumner. Incomplete. He had it in his hands. Tight defense there by Red Oak. It's going to bring up 4th down. 44 seconds to go.
Reggie's really been looking deep, and I like that. I like that about him, but You know, in this situation there, that was almost a 2-down territory. Clearly it is 2-down territory because they're going for it here. You would have liked to have seen maybe pick up 4 or 5 across the middle there and then try to have an easier 4th down here.
Reggie under heavy duress there, going out to the right where there absolutely was no defender, but he just got rid of it, and that was the correct call. So he kind of lost his balance as the defender was kind of on him and just had to throw it away there. So 36 seconds left. And Waco High turns it over on downs on the 47-yard line of Red Oak. We got a timeout by Red Oak. They're bringing in their second string quarterback, number 14, Kendall Brown. That's probably all we're going to see of their starters for the evening. That last drive of Waco generated how many yards of offense roughly?
They had 72 yards offense. I'm sorry, that's not right. They had 32 yards offense on that last drive. I'm sorry, I'll give you that one more shot. It's 35 yards of offense there on that last drive over 9 total plays, 5 rushes, and 3 incomplete passes. With 3, he went deep three times. He was trying to get that deep ball, but it just wasn't there.
Kendall Brown, the second string quarterback, is in along with Noah Johnson, and they're gonna try to heave it. Go for a long pass. He's got it.
That was a 50-yard strike. He threw it about 55 yards in the air.
Braden Robinson. Braden Robinson there. Down at the 2-yard line. Quarterback keeper Kendall Brown, but he does not score. 16 seconds to go. And Red Oak will call a timeout. Well, like we said to start of this ball game, this team is loaded with talented, athletic wide receivers, and they have a quarterback. Both these quarterbacks have really nice arms. Robinson, for sure, the starter. He can throw it on a rope. But that was the backup, Kendall Brown, who heaved it about 50 yards himself, right on the money.
Yeah, I mean, the backup can spin it too. I mean, that ball, you couldn't have placed that ball in there any better. A beautiful throw and a beautiful catch by number 18, Braden Robinson.
$15 seconds to go, ball on the 2-yard line. Red Oak threatening again here in the second quarter. See if Waco High can stop this offensive surge. Quarterback sneak. And he's in for the touchdown. Number 14, Kendall Brown scores. 1-yard run, 2-yard run. On a quarterback keeper. Josh Jimenez in for the extra point attempt. Kick is up. And it's good again, so.
It's 8 for 8 for Jimenez.
56 for Red Oak and 7 for Waco High. We have 9 seconds to go here in the second quarter. That was a 25-second drive. that went 53 yards. That gives them close to over 250 yards of offense here in the first half.
I don't mind the aggression there. You're still in the first half. Go ahead and run your normal offense. Try to punch it in, even though you're up a lot. I know a lot of people think that's not good sportsmanship, but you're just running your offense, and then you would think probably in the second half they'll call off the dogs a little bit, play some backups, and maybe just run the ball.
Chris Dowdy and Amias Irwin are back at the 10-yard line. Josh Jimenez is going to have to ice his leg on the way home tonight after kicking off. This will be his 9th kickoff. 8 extra points. He's been quite busy tonight.
He's got plenty of leg. As you said, we saw it pregame. That leg is strong. No ice needed.
Short kick there. Taken by the up back.
About an 8-yard return there.
And that is going to end the first half with the score Red Oak 56, Waco High 7. Stay tuned as we go down to the field for the homecoming activities.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Waco High School would like to welcome you to our 2022 homecoming festivities and introduce the King and Queen candidates. We would also like to give a special welcome to the WHS classes of 1987, 1991, and 1997. Our WHS ROTC Sabre team will be providing entrance for our court and guests. Our WHS band will be providing the school alma mater in the background.
Tonight, accompanied by Waco High School Principal, Mr. Sterling Magruder, and Associate Principal, Mrs. Amy DeLon, our 2021 Homecoming King, Elijah Pullen, and the 2021 Homecoming Queen, Christiane Scrappy Demerson, who will be crowning tonight's 2022 Homecoming King and Queen. The candidates were nominated by their peers and selected by their peers and staff.
The first Queen nominee is Ariel Munoz, escorted by her mother, Belinda Munoz, and her father, Gilbert Alvarado. Ariel has played varsity softball since freshman year, where she is the starting pitcher, and is also part of the Waco High Lion cheer team. She has been in student council since 9th grade, is a National Honor Society member, and is a Duncan Scholar. She attends Greater Waco Advanced Health Care Academy, where she is also involved in HOSA and is the Senior Ambassador for GUACA. Ariel is a certified CNA and will become a certified CMA through GUACA. She is also a member of Skills USA. Ariel is a 4th-year Waco ISD Accelerated Program student. Ariel is also part of the up-and-coming organization Next Gen, where she is the social media chair and secretary. Ariel enjoys painting, making stickers for her sticker business, and watching movies with her puppy. She loves to go on car rides with her dad and to shop with her mom. Ariel loves being around her family because she says they made her the person she is today. After high school, Ariel hopes to attend the University of Texas at Arlington, Texas State University, or UMHB to major in nursing and minor in graphic design. Ariel's career goal is to be a pediatric nurse practitioner. Ariel Munoz.
The first King nominee, Darren Bible. He is escorted by his mother, Linnell Bible, and his older brother, Sir Dartrell Bible. Darren is an advanced academic student and a member of the Waco High School varsity football team. In his free time, he likes to listen to music and play video games. After high school, Darren plans on attending college and becoming a physical therapist. If his plans of playing professional football do not happen, Darren Bible.
The second Queen nominee is Sierra Shaw, escorted by her parents, Frederick and Sonia Lofton. Sierra is a member of the Waco High varsity volleyball and basketball teams. She serves as a senior class vice president. Sierra is also the senior CTE ambassador for the education and training practicum field. She enjoys singing, acting, hanging with friends, and being around her family. Sierra loves driving on the highway and traveling. She loves working with kids, but also enjoys her alone time. Sierra wants to attend a historically black college or university and major in psychology and minor in education. She wants to use her degree to be a child psychologist and/or an elementary school counselor in order to continue sharing her love for children. Sierra Shaw.
The second King nominee is Tyler Black. He is escorted by his parents, Jay and Donna Black. He is on the varsity football team, basketball, and baseball teams. Tyler is also an advanced academic student. He enjoys hanging out with the boys, his girlfriend, and playing almost all sports. After high school, Tyler plans on attending Texas A&M University and majoring in sports and management. Tyler Black.
Redriana Tatum is our third Queen nominee. She is escorted by her parents, Tyrone and Monica DeLeo. Redriana is a part of the CIS, YAK, Young Ladies of Excellence, Student Council. She is on the varsity cross-country team and is the captain of the varsity girls track team. She is part of the career prep program and has been a server at Golden Corral for over a year. Red loves buying shoes, hanging with family and friends, and volunteering. After high school, she plans to go to TSTC and become an air traffic controller. Redriana Tatum.
Ivan Diaz, our third King nominee. He is escorted by his mother, Ann Fuentes. Ivan is on the Waco High varsity football and powerlifting teams. Ivan loves to cut hair, lift weights, and exercise. And he loves enjoying giving back to his community. After school, Ivan will be going to Madison Barber School, and his future career will be a full-time barber. Ivan Diaz.
Our final Queen candidate is Ashara Thibodeau. She is escorted by her mother, Azuria Thibodeau, and her father, Anthony Thibodeau. Ashara is on the varsity volleyball, basketball, and softball teams. She also plays travel ball. She is the class of 2023 historian and a member of the National Honor Society. Ashara loves leaving positive impressions on people, staying humble, playing sports, annoying her brothers, singing, going to the movies, hanging out with friends, and she absolutely loves spending her parents' money. After high school, Ashara plans on attending college and majoring in sports medicine. Ashara Thibodeau.
Our final King nominee is Darion Shepard. He is escorted by his mother and stepfather, Shani and Edward Stoltman. Darion is a member of student council and loves volunteering to work at Shepherd's Heart. He loves to exercise, play video games, listen to music, and brighten other people's day. Darion plans on attending the University of Texas at Austin to study law in order to pursue a career as a criminal lawyer. Darion Shepard.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your 2022 homecoming court.
Band, can we get a drum roll, please? Our 2022 homecoming king is Mr. Ivan Diaz. And our 2022 homecoming queen is Miss Sierra Shaw. Congratulations, congratulations. Don't your homecoming king and homecoming queen look good on tonight?
Congratulations once again to our king and queen and to all members of the homecoming court. We'd like to give a special thanks to Waco High Student Council, ROTC, and the Waco High Band.
And that concludes the halftime festivities here. Homecoming king and queen were nominated just now. Just been taken off the field. As we get ready to start the second half, Red Oak leads 56-7. Tyler, you want to give us some statistics from that first half?
Well, it was a pretty dominant performance in the first half by Red Oak. Jalen Robinson, quarterback, went 7 for 15 with 111 yards, 6 rushing attempts for 69 yards. Leading the receivers was Braden Robinson with 4 receptions for 113 yards, including an incredible catch down the sideline there late. Warren Robinson had 2 receptions for 39 yards. Taz Williams had 2 receptions for 10 yards. Moses Martindale had 4 attempts for rushing for 13 yards.
As we get ready to kick off here in the second half, Waco will be receiving the ball. Number 15, Chris Dowdy, and number 10, Amias Irwin, will be deep for this kickoff. Waco High in this second half just needs to try to execute their offense. Try to get some long, sustained drives and create some positive energy here in this second half. Kicking off is Josh Jimenez, taken up by one of the upbacks. Rashad Lee brings it up to the 40-yard line. Shot getting some first action here, I believe, of the year for him. First and 10 for Waco High on the 41-yard line. Here's we start the third quarter. 11 minutes and 55 seconds to go.
So what are you looking for here if you're Waco High? What are you trying to get out of this half? You're down 56-7. What's your objective
You
here in the
need
second
to
half?
run some of your base plays that you want to be executing on for the next 3 games after this game is over. Mason Smith Welcome, number 22, is coming into the game. And LZ Amos will also be the other back. It's a handoff to Amos. And he just had nowhere to go. Too many defenders blocking him. Unblocked. Loss of 4 on the play. Offensive line for Waco High needs to bow up and start pushing people backwards instead of them having to come into them. Reggie Lewis, quarterback for Waco here in the 3rd quarter. Ends it off to Welcome. And he is down for another loss of 1 or 2 yards. Well, 3rd and 17, you might as well throw a pass now. With the running game so far has gone backwards. Best I can tell, Red Oak still has their starters in. Up 56-7. Short pass over here to Dowdy on the left side. And he gets down to the 45-yard line. That'll bring up a 4th down and 6.
I believe that's Dowdy's first reception of the evening.
It is. Only the 2nd pass completed tonight so far. Yeah, Waco High is going to go ahead and go for it. There's no reason not to. They need to get practice with their offensive plays. And let's see what happens here on the 4th down and 6. We got a motion penalty here on our number 79, Dante Ward Jr. And that's going to force him to punt, with it being 4th down and 11 now. Another motion penalty. They've had about 6 or 7 of them tonight. Okay, we've got a different punter in now for Waco High. It's going to be 21, Angel Campos. Number 1, Warren Robinson is back for Red Oak. Ball's on the 40-yard line. Uh-oh, snaps over his head, and he just falls on it. And Red Oak will take over at the 10-yard line. Punting game has really cost Waco High dearly tonight.
It's a 3rd bad snap on a punt, or otherwise miscue on the punt. That's looks like it's going to cost them another 7 here, unfortunately.
9 minutes and 27 seconds to go. Here in the 3rd quarter, ball on the 10-yard line. 2nd string quarterback is in, Kendall Brown, along with Noah Johnson as the running back. And they do have a different set of receivers in now, so they're bringing in their 2nd team receivers. But they're still throwing the football. Number 4 is a starter, though, Taz Williams. He could not hold on to that ball. Second down and 10 for Red Oak. 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. It's going to be a handoff from Noah Johnson. He'll get down to the 5-yard line. Devon Bryant. Tyrone Sumter down to the 4-yard line. He'll bring up a 3rd and 4. Another handoff to Johnson. And he gets down to the 1 yard line. That'll bring up a 4th and goal. See if Waco High's defense can stop them here on this 4th down play. Kendall Brown, I don't know if he got it. He reached out that ball and the ball dropped. Oh, they're going to give it to him. Touchdown.
That's a touchdown for the Hawks.
10-yard drive. Quarterback knocking it in from 1 yard out on a 4th down quarterback sneak. In to attempt the extra point will be Josh Jimenez. Kendall Brown will be holding. Snaps back. And the kick is up, and it's good.
9 for 9 for Jimenez. The streak continues.
63-7 here early in the 3rd quarter as Red Oak capitalizes on a bad snap to the punter and took over at the 10-yard line of Waco and punched it in on 4 straight plays. 8:37 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Chris Dowdy and Amias Irwin are back. Around the 25-yard line, we'll have O'Shawn Neal and Rashad Lee as the upbacks to receive this kickoff from Red Oak.
We'd like to recognize our homecoming class coming back, Waco High.
Red Oak has 63 points on only 276 yards. It just shows how short of the fields they've been working with all night, and they've been capitalizing on all the Waco High mistakes.
The class of 1997.
This is going to be Jimenez's about 18th and 19th kick of the night, somewhere in that range. Maybe he is going to have to ice that leg after all.
All right, he's going to pooch it. Rashad Lee, 12, drops it, but he falls on it. And Waco High will start this possession on the 27-yard line. 8 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Let's see if their offense can generate some offense now and take it down the field. See if we can get some explosive plays going.
I would like to see one of those passes right over the middle we discussed earlier. The passing game has been open at times, but it's either been all or nothing. They've been 20, 30, 40 yards looks. So it'd be interesting to see if we could get a 5 or 6 yard quick slant right over the middle.
3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Amos is the running back. Handoff to Amos around the left side. A little misdirection there. And a nice gain there by LZ, 8 yards. Brings up a 2nd down and 2. Mason Smith welcome coming in, and LZ Amos coming out as he is playing both ways tonight, so they've got to rest him some. 2nd down and 2, 8:01 to go. See if we can get a 1st down and keep this drive going. Reggie Lewis straight ahead. Breaks out. Still on his feet. And he rambles 5 yards for a 1st down. Nice run by Reggie Lewis. Sets up a 1st down and 10 on the 40-yard line.
Waco continuing to milk the clock here in the 2nd half, trying to shorten the game.
Robert Wireman, number 84, number 8, Tyrone Sumter. A couple of the wide receivers. Reggie with the pitch out to welcome Smith. Smith welcome, excuse me. And he is knocked down for a 3-yard loss, bring up Second down and 12.
A little bit of a dangerous pitch there on the option, kind of a late pitch. But it was handled cleanly.
Number 25, King Townsend, is another one of the receivers, along with 15, Chris Dowdy, as they've got 4 receivers in. Mason Smith Welcome is the lone running back, along with quarterback Reggie Lewis. Smith Welcome knocked back for about a 4-yard gain as the defensive line just shot right through that play, and
just no holes there.
No holes there.
That defensive, that linebacker came in pretty much untouched there. Not anything that Smith Welcome could do with that one.
Third down and 15, obviously a passing down.
Probably 4-down territory too, because we've seen what the backup kicker or backup punter has done, and it's been a good effort, but not what you probably want from your punter.
That pass was right in the hands of Robert Wireman, but he could not hold on to it. But that's just that pass right there, 5 yards. It's open all night long.
Finally got what we wanted. We finally got to see that pass over the middle. It just didn't connect. It was a bullet. I don't know if Wireman was ready for that shot.
Angel Campos back to punt. Number 1, Warren Robinson back to receive this punt for Red Oak. In fact, it was Braden Robinson they changed out.
Nice net 27-yard kick there, one of the better ones of the night.
.5:33 to go here in the third quarter. Red Oak will take over 1st and 10 on their 39-yard line. Leading 63-7.
If you're the Red Oak coach here, you're going to start just running the ball, maybe being a little more conservative. It seems like they've kept the offense going here in the third quarter. They haven't slowed down any.
Steven Solis is one of the running backs in. .28 Chris Hobbs is also in at running back, so some of their second string players are in the game now. 17, the wide receiver Devontae Peoples here on the far right side. Hand off to Chris Hobbs off the left side. Gallops for a first down there.
Well, that's his first rush of the night.
It is his first rush.
The 2 and 3 deeps at this point.
And off to Hobbs again, and he's going nowhere. 18 and 45 in on the tackle for Waco High. Tim Standifer, Darren Bible. Second down and 10. Kendall Brown in at quarterback. Chris Hobbs, number 28, is now in the rotation for running back. Hobbs with the ball straight up the middle. Gain of about 2 or 3. LZ Amos, number 6, on the tackle. Along with O'Shawn Neal. Brings up a 3rd down and 8. 4:15 to go here in the third quarter. 63-7, Red Oak leads. Kendall Brown back to pass. He's under heat. He's going to be brought down for a 7-yard loss. 3 or 4 of the Waco High men bringing them down there.
First sack of the night for the Waco High defense. Couldn't come at a better time.
Darren Bible was the last one off the pile there. Good tackle. I believe this is going to be the second punt of the night for Red Oak. Punting from their own 46-yard line, and Reggie Lewis will be going back for Waco. Punter is Chris Martinez, one of their starting running backs. Play clock down to 3, 2, 1. And Red Oak calls a timeout, because they were a little slow in getting onto the field there.
Well, they haven't had to punt a whole lot tonight, so they're probably not used to running out there on 4th down.
As we wait, we've got a few halftime scores here from District 4-5A Division 1. We have Lake Belton leading Killeen at halftime 34-6. We have Clean Ellison leading Cleburne 19-10 at half. And then we have Methylonian, who is 4-0 in district play at Granbury. They're all over Granbury at halftime, 49-7. So here we go again, 4th down. Punting situation for Red Oak. Chris Martinez will be the punter, and Reggie Lewis will be back at his 20-yard line to receive this punt. This kicker in practice had a very strong leg. He's going to boom that thing all the way through the end zone. That's 60 yards in the air. And Waco High will take over, as that punt was not returnable as he kicked it all the way through the end zone.
55-yard, net 35-yard punt, but at the high school level, I don't believe you see too many 60-yard in the air punts like that.
That is a strong punt, and it was not a line drive. It was way up in the air.
And there isn't any wind out here either. That was real. No assistance.
2 minutes and 57 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Red Oak leads Waco 63-7. Waco 1st and 10 on their 20. Mason Smith-Welcome will be the running back with Reggie Lewis here to start this possession for Waco. Pass catch out here to Robert Wireman. I'm sorry, not Wireman.
That's Chris Dowdy.
Chris Dowdy goes for no gain. Second down to 10, 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. 2 receivers to the left and to the right. Handoff up the middle. Mason Smith-Welcome. Gain of a couple. Brings a 3rd down and 8 situation. LZ Amos coming back into the game, and Welcome coming off.
Kind of wonder if you'll see Joseph Bedford or even Tyrance Johnson tonight maybe get a little work late.
3 receivers to the far side of the field. Reggie sprinting out, throws it in the flat. It was intended for number 25, King Townsend, but a little bit out of his reach. Ball's incomplete, and Waco will have to punt it away. Angel Campos, number 21, will be back to punt the ball. Braden Robinson's at his 50-yard line to return this. Ball set to 22-yard line. LZ Amos with the snap. Campos, nice kick. Fair catch. called for at the 49-yard line.
It was a net 31-yard kick, one of the best punts of the night for Waco High.
Good snap. Good kick, no pressure. Red Oak sets up shop on their own 49-yard line here late in the third quarter, minute and 7 to go. Kendall Brown's the quarterback. Noah Johnson will be the running back, number 24. Hand off to 19 around the corner.
Looks like that's Rodney Malone.
He gets shoved out of bounds, though, at the sideline there, number 20. O'Shawn Neal in on the defense. Gain of 1. And off to Johnson up the middle. 44 in on the tackle for Waco High. Darren Paul. Gain of 2. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 6. 37 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
You would hope that this would be the last play of the third quarter.
Kendall Brown at quarterback. Goes back to pass. Going deep, but it's way too long. Intended for 17. Devonta Peoples. Ball's incomplete. Amias Irwin in on the defense. And they are going to punt the ball away.
See if we can get another one of those 55-yard beauties.
Chris Martinez will be punting, and Reggie Lewis is at his 10-yard line. Ball sitting at the 46-yard line of Waco High. Bad snap. Gets a quick kickoff. Takes a favorable bounce. Oh, man. Goes out at the 1-yard line, and that wasn't planned.
An inadvertent coffin corner at the 1-yard line. What a kick.
And that will end the third quarter with the score Red Oak 63 and Waco High 7. Let's go down to sideline reporter Josh Pena for interviews with the homecoming king and queen.
Hey guys, my name is Joshua Pena. I'm here with homecoming king Ivan Diaz and homecoming queen Sierra Shaw. Now my first question for you guys is, how does it feel being crowned homecoming queen?
It feels really good. Actually, I put blood, sweat, and tears into this campaign, but I'm just really glad that my peers chose me to be like the spirit of the school, and it feels really good.
How does it feel being homecoming king?
It feels really good knowing that the school has your back and they chose you to be the homecoming king, and it feels really great.
Now, second question for you guys is, how hard did you campaign?
Very hard, very, very hard. A lot of money, very hard.
A lot of money, and very hard. I just use my craft, just use some of my haircuts, and a lot of money. Yeah.
And finally, what advice would you give to future students who'd want to be nominated?
My advice would be just take pride in your school. Like, regardless of what's going on at the school and what you hear about the school, just take pride in it and be prideful and be involved. Like, get your name out there, let people know who you are, and show them that you care.
My advice would be just have heart, do stuff for your community. Like Sierra says, be involved with your school, and just have a lot of heart.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Back to you, Hal.
Okay, as we come back here for the start of the fourth quarter, Waco High pinned down on their 1-yard line after a tremendous effort by punter Martinez. Reggie just straight ahead. Smart play, gain of 3 on there, gets it up to the 4-yard line, gives them a little breathing room here. LZ Amos coming into the game, number 6. Two receivers to the right and 2 to the left here on a second down. Reggie tried to take it around the corner, but there was no room there, and he's brought down for a 2-yard loss. 65 in on the tackle, Othel Mosley. 3rd down and 8.
Noah Stinnett coming in.
And Terrence Johnson also will be in there, number 31. Tough situation here. Pinned back on your 2-yard line.
I'm just handing this ball off to my fullback or my halfback right up the middle.
Reggie's going to keep it. Gets loosed out on the left side. He's to the 30, 35, 40. 38-yard gain there.
That's one way to get out of the trouble.
Nice run by Reggie Lewis there.
Looked like he took a direct snap off the he took a direct snap there and just took it all the way around the edge and beat everybody to the corner.
Probably the second longest play of the game for them tonight. Maybe the longest. They had another long gainer in the first half. I don't remember the exact yards.
Yeah, Amos had a 35-yarder in the first half, and that one was a 39-yarder. That is the longest play of the game.
Reggie Lewis keeping it around the left side. He gets a couple over there before he's wrestled out of bounds. Makai Williams, number 30. 2nd down and 9. 9 minutes and 55 seconds to go in the game. Two receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Mason Smith-Welcome is the running back in the backfield. Reggie tried to throw it. Puts it up again. Chris Dowdy right off his fingertips. That was going to be a tough catch.
A little bit of a play action look there. It faked the handoff and was looking for something down the sideline, but it just wasn't quite there.
Like the play call, though. It was a safe play. Brings up a 3rd and 9. Tyrone Sumpton, number 8, is one of your receivers. Noah Stinnett, number 33, is a receiver. Chris Dowdy, number 15, is another receiver. Here we go, Reggie. Looking out right. He's going to throw it long. Just came up a little short, intended for Chris Dowdy.
He had Noah Stinnett, the fullback, wide open on the underneath, but just missed him. I like the aggression, though.
Angel Campos will punt the ball as Waco will snap it from the 43-yard line. LZ Amos will be the snapper. Braden Robinson is back, number 18, to get this kick. And it's not going to go very far. Let's see where they kill it. 47-yard line. About a 10 or 12-yard punt there. First and 10 for Red Oak. They have the ball on their own 47-yard line. 8 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the ball game. Kendall Brown is the quarterback. Straight handoff to Chris Hobbs, number 28. Gain of 3. Brings up a 2nd down and 7.
Red Oak's still going pretty quick here. This is the first time they've really semi-huddled.
Waco looking to blitz there, and they bury him. O'Shawn Neal, 20, along with Javon Bryant, stood him up. Chris Hobbs with nowhere to go on that particular play. Third down. Yeah, 3rd down and 7. And the play clock is reading 0.
Yeah, there seems to be a malfunction.
So they have reset it, and they're going to continue on.
They are having play clock problems, it appears, in the booth.
Kendall Brown, he's scrambling. There's holding there on pass completed to 19.
That's Rodney Malone for Red Oak. 0-yard gain. Actually, a loss of 2 on that.
Brings up a 4th down. Reggie Lewis going back at about his 15-yard line as the punter, Chris Martinez, sets up at his own 33-yard line.
Let's see what Chris can do punting this direction. He's got a full field to work with again.
Kind of hits a low knuckler, and the ball's going to die right there on the 9-yard line, where Waco High will start off another set of series of downs here to see if they can move it down the field 91 yards and get a touchdown here. They need to get some positive yardage going on.
Martinez looked like he took a little bit off that, so he didn't boom it out of the end zone like he did 2 punts ago.
Like we've said earlier in the broadcast, this Red Oak team is loaded with talent. Many of their players had Division I offers. Let's see what Waco High can do, though, as they get the ball here. 6 minutes to go. Ball on their 9-yard line. Let's see if they can get a long, sustained drive going.
6 minutes to go. This might be the last time you get the ball. If you can get a score here, you at least have something to build on going into the next week.
That's Tyrese Johnson with the carry. He's met by a wall of tacklers there. Apostle Wright, number 33, on that tackle. Brings up a 2nd down and 9. 5 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the game. Robert Wireman, number 84, on the far left-hand side. Sumner's the receiver here on the right. Reggie scrambling around. Just nowhere to go on the scramble.
Reggie took a big hit there by number 23 for Red Oak. Cameron Morgan on the tackle. What a hefty hit on him.
2-yard loss there. That'll set up a 3rd down and 11 for Waco. 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter.
One completion here. Let's see it. Let's see one over the middle here.
Welcome with the ball going around the corner. Gains a couple. It'll bring up 4th down. Angel Campos has been put into punting duties tonight after Tyler Black evidently has an injury to his right leg. Braden Robertson back to receive this punt. 18 calls a fair catch at the 42-yard line.
It's a 31-yard punt on that one. Nice effort.
Again, Waco High student. Administration saying you need to make sure you have called. Get your ride here.
3 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Red Oak will take over the 42-yard line. Pitch back to the wide receiver, and he's going to get belted.
That was Rashad Lee, I believe, on that tackle. He had a lick on him.
Rashad getting some of his first action this year, I believe.
Keep making tackles like that, you're going to get a little bit more action.
Devontae Peoples was in on that carry. 2nd down and 10. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the game. That's going to be Noah Johnson with the ball. And he's not going to go anywhere. Number 45, Darren Bible, wrapping him up, bringing him down. 3rd down and 10. Minute 55 to go. Kendall Brown and Noah Johnson in the backfield for Red Oak. Gonna try a pass off to the right side to number 83. He is just into the game. That'll be Jaden Blayton. Gain of about 7. 6 or 7. That'll bring up 4th down, I believe. Fourth and 4 with 1:18 to go. It's going back to pass. And that's a score. Over the middle, Devontae Peoples with the touchdown.
36-yard strike.
That makes the score 69-7 with the extra point to be attempted. Josh Jimenez in for his 10th extra point of the evening. Kick is up, and he missed it. Pushed it to the right.
Perfect. It's 338 yards now of offense after that last throw. Got Red Oak over 300 yards offense. And that should just about do it, it appears.
Clock is kicking down as they're letting the play clock run now. 3, 2, 1. And that is the ball game. So with the final tonight here from Waco ISD Stadium is Red Oak 69, Waco High 7. We would like to acknowledge the men and women of Leaping Lines Production who helped put on this broadcast tonight. America Archon in the replay booth. Brianna Acevedo was the switcher. Chris Chapman was on camera. Jaden White was on camera. And Josh Pena was on camera. Will Burney is the executive director, teacher. From Leaping Lines Production, thank you to my booth partner, Tyler Harris. I'm Hal Harris saying good night.